Hi, Design from Groovy Entertainment. Today we got another book to read for you. Today's book is Calling All Engine from 2005. So let's get started. Summer is a very busy time on the island of Sodor. The engine loves to show travelers around the island. They visit the seaside, the windmills, and the new Sodor suspension bridge. One morning, Sir Topham Hatter came to the shed. He had a very important announcement to make. A new airport is to be built on Sodon, and I need you all to help. The engine was very excited. Thomas and Percy was coupled to freight cars full of bricks and timbers to take to the airport building site. Imagine all the travelers shuffled. Thomas and the airplane, puffed Percy. Then Airy and Bert arrived. Stinky steamers in the way again, mumbled Airy. Why do we have to work near them? Grumbled Bert. This made Thomas and Percy cross. They didn't want to work near the diesel either. The diesel was orderly, and they seemed very different to steamers. Thomas, Percy, Airy, and Bert worked at the airport all afternoon. They shuttered freight cars full of bricks and tar. The diesel bumped Thomas and buffed Percy. Dirty diesel, moaned Percy. I don't like them. Thomas and Percy had been so excited about working at the airport, but Airy and Bert was there, and now it wasn't any fun. That night, a hurricane shot through the island. It was the strongest wind the engine had ever known. All night long, the wind howled down the track. It tore down the trees and ripped off roofs. The next morning, Thomas gasped at what he saw. Bust my buffers, he cried. Look at what the wind had done. The seaside had been battered, the windmill was wrecked, and the Sodon suspension bridge had collapsed. Thomas felt terrible. Sir Topham Hatter came to see the engines. The hurricane had done a lot of damage, he said sadly. Everyone will have to work even harder if we want to open the airport. Edward and Henry bought bricks to the airport building site, while Diesel arrived with a load of timber. But the Diesel wasn't talking to the steam engines, and the steam engines wasn't talking to the Diesels. Everyone would cross. That afternoon, Thomas had to collect some paint for the bridge. He puffed into the building yard to pick up the pot of paint, but Diesel was in the yard, too. Now I'll show Thomas who's best. Diesel whispered and gave the freight cars an extra hard shut. Paint pot flew into the air and splattered down all over Thomas. Thomas looked very silly indeed. Spotted border laughed Diesel and he rode away. I'll show those Diesel, Thomas huffed. So the next time Thomas saw Aries, he gave him a buff. And when Aries saw James, he gave him a bash. Soon the Diesel and steamers was biffing and banging and being bashed all over the island. The engine wasn't a terrible mess, and no work had been done. That evening, Sir Topham Hatter came to see the engine. He was very angry. You have caused confusion and delays. The seaside is still a mess. The bridge isn't painted, and we have not been able to open the airport. No traveler will come to Sodor this year. No traveler, moaned Thomas. And no airplanes, groaned Percy. All the engines knew they had behaved badly, and they was very sad. That night, Thomas had a dream. He was puffing along a misty mountain track, and there was Lady. Lady was a very special steam engine. She worked high up in the mountain. Lady was Shutter. Lady was Shutter in trucks with Rusty the diesel engine. Thomas was surprised. We always finished our job when we worked together, puffed Lady. The next morning, when Thomas woke up, he had an idea. First, he went straight to see Melvin. Melvin was a kind diesel engine, and Thomas knew she would listen. He told Melvin that he wanted the steam engine and the diesel to work together. Melvin agreed. It was only way to get to the airport open in time. Let's have a big meeting with all the engines at the Colon stop tomorrow, Thomas puffed. Thomas and Melvin went to see the other engines to tell them all about the meeting. Thomas told Percy, then James, then Emily. Melvin told Diesel, then Ari, then Bert. The next day, the engine gathered at the Colon stop. The steam engine and the diesel were all lined up. Tommy blew his whistle. Steamers and diesel need to work together, Chef Thomas. If the airport doesn't open, it will be bad for all the engines, both steam engine and diesel engine. These passenger and freights to be useful. If we work together, we can get the job done, puffed Thomas. All the engine agreed. After that, the engine worked harder than ever. They hauled bricks and timber and cleared away debris from the storm. They moved paint and tar and made sure there was enough worker to do each important job. And all the engine was carefully not to bump or block each other. Even Diesel 10, the biggest diesel engine of all, agreed to help out. Soon the engine was even enjoying working together, smiling and joking as friends will do. Before long, the airport was finished. It had shiny buildings and big tall control towers, and the runway was long and smooth. The engine was very proud and very excited. I can't wait to see the travelers, puffed Thomas. And look, Pete Percy, here comes the first airplane. So that was Calling All Engines from 2005. If you like, subscribe, share, and comment. Have a groovy day with another video coming out real soon.